All right, let's go ahead and get started then. Real quick recap. We kind of already did one, but so real fast, you guys narrowly escaped death against an army of Slod in the basement of a strange temple that you found in the marsh. Returning back to the encampment where you had left a few of the prisoners of the Slod, you found that one had turned into a Slod in that time that you were gone and had killed all the rest. Returning back to the frog people, the Grung, you relayed that you had taken care of a large quantity of Slod, and they gave you 3 vials of the poison that they had agreed to give you. And that's where we left off, with you guys preparing to return towards the end of a day back out of the marsh and return back to Halarahh. So, with that in mind, who is leading the march back out of the marsh?
I will do it.
I can help, because if he needs help finding the path or whatever, I'm happy to act as Pathfinder while riding a Slod.
All right, yeah, you can give me separate rolls, or Boils can roll with advantage.
Tap Wilros with my tail.
Yeah,
Avoidance.
Then.
Alright, advantage, guidance, perception. Wait, perception or survival? Sorry.
Yeah, perception. You guys know the road. It's just a matter of keeping an eye out on your way back.
Thank you for advantage.
All right. On your way back, you don't really see much in the way of wildlife, but it does seem as though there's a little bit of wildlife returning. You're hearing like a few bugs buzzing and the occasional chirp of a bird here and there up in the canopy. It's definitely not as dead silent, but it is still pretty stifling and uncomfortable, but less so now that it feels like a bit more of a natural environment. But your travel back is pretty unimpeded. As it draws towards nightfall, you don't quite make it out of the swamp yet. You're probably at a best guess, probably like another hour at least of getting out of the swamp and actually making it, not to Halarahh, but just getting outside of the borders of the marshlands. So, are you guys looking to rest in the swamp or to continue pushing on?
We could go a little bit and then cast the tent and stay there. We'll put the Slod outside to just guard us a little bit.
Can you repeat that, Lebo? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Said let's go a little bit and then just we'll make the tent and we'll have my little Slod guy just protect us and make sure no one gets near us.
So you're looking to rest in the swamp, or are you trying to push a little further into the evening and rest outside the swamp?
Yeah, let's go out a little bit, but we'll go a little travel until we get a little bit out of the swamp or a little bit towards the edge of the swamp.
Exhaustion?
There would be a chance of suffering exhaustion if you push on.
Then I get to stay in the swamp.
Get some rest.
Yeah, I got nothing.
We have a Slod bodyguard. A Slod guard. Slotty guard.
Mm-hmm.
Bodyguard.
We're gonna have a hut, right?
Yep.
Does the Slod need to sleep? Do we care?
You don't know.
I mean, I only need to sleep the 4 hours, so I could still keep watch.
Erixus would take a watch just to have the Slod to talk to. But Erixus would cozy up to Zorkrus before we lay down and say, "Hey, buddy, put his arm around him, all tender and gentle.
I shush him and look at his ring. I shush you. Look at your ring and cast shield into your ring.
All right, you have shield.
Arixis thanks him profusely. I'll do the leadership thing when we wake up, because that's gonna fade away, I think. Right? Inspiring leader.
Yeah, after a long rest, it will. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. So Rosera offered a watch, and as did Arixis, who will take a third watch.
Okay,
It actually doesn't say that, Gabe. Just throwing that out there. Oh, wait, does it?
Well, that's just
temp
standard
HP fades.
Temp HP rules.
Oh,
yeah.
is it? Okay. Alright, there you go.
I'm gonna tell Wilbur to lay down in front of the tent, and if he hears any noises that's not from us, attack it.
Okay. He seems to understand, but there's no response of any kind.
And then I pet him.
Oh.
Good boy.
Before we lay down to rest, I will also cast. Oh boy, so many good choices right now. But I think I'll play it safe. I will cast Hex into my ring.
Cast Hex?
Yeah, into my ring. So now it's stored.
Wow.
Can you do that? Are you still at 4th level slots? I thought you had 5th level now.
No, I'm still at 4th level. Next level, I get.
Oh, right, because Warlock. Never mind. Yeah.
Yep.
There's Wilbur. Good boy.
All right. Is there anything anybody else needs to do before the evening's rest? Okay. Wilbur casts the dome, and everybody gets inside with Wilbur outside on the guarding on the outside. And I need perception checks from the 3 people taking a watch.
Oh, sorry about that. Oh my gosh, sorry. I've got everything checked from last time.
That's all right.
That's actually my bad.
I can re-roll
Yeah,
if you want.
No, we'll take the 19. Still good roll.
Okay. I should have checked.
Who was taking the 3rd watch?
I don't remember.
Anyone?
Yeah, I thought it was just me and
Bueller?
Rosera that volunteered.
Oh, you need
and then
you need a 3rd watch
Wilbur.
to cover. Well, I guess actually with Rosera only needed 4 hours. I guess technically you can cover it in
Yeah.
2.
We've got Wilbur.
Because Rosera can do 1 and 3, Arixis can take the middle one, so Rosera can get her 4 hours.
Yeah.
Right? Or what does it watch?
Yeah, I
watch.
think that works. Okay. Who's watching first? Did you guys say?
So I'll watch 1st and 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. The first couple hours of the evening passes uneventfully.
Okay.
Zorkris, you are awoken and disturbed by a voice in your head, and it seems to only be speaking to you. Like you are jolted awake immediately as it begins speaking to you, and you look around and everybody else doesn't seem to be stirring, aside from Rosera. You see, sitting and keeping watch, and then with Wilbur sitting outside. But a voice comes to you and says, "You should be careful who you steal from."
I say, is this the Mind Flayer?
There's no response.
Look outside at Wilbur. and I say, "Hey, Wilbur, are you okay?" All right. Then I go back in.
Yeah, it like turns around and looks at you, but it doesn't say anything.
Who would have been on watch at that point? Me?
You.
I would turn.
Yeah, I would say with
I'm
that
also
perception, I would say with that perception, you would have noticed Zorkris just kind of suddenly sit up a bit, and then
Okay.
lay back down.
Sarah, did you hear anything, or was it just in my head?
I think the latter.
Yeah, I was making sure that Wilbur is still on our side. Keep up the good work.
Zara would nod.
All right.
Please.
The next few hours passes uneventfully. Shin, your sleep is again disturbed by
Oh, great.
a vision of sorts. You come to a somewhat waking state, and looking around, you see a white marble floor turned to gray, dim gray, in a lightless room. You can't quite make out the edges of the room, but in standing there, you see in front of you a recognizable statue of a man carved out of stone with a hawk for a head. And you recognize this as a statue of Horus, the deity of your order. As you stand there, staring at this statue, you see a man walk in front of you, wielding a glaive. As he takes a few steps forward and draws back his hood, you see that this is you. And he steps up to the statue with the glaive in hand at the ready, the glaive and the runes along the blade glowing. As he takes a swing, and there's a blinding flash of light as it impacts the statue. And for a brief moment, you get a full illumination of this room, and you're just able to see columns of marble pillars running down the sides of the room, and you recognize this as the house of your order back in Galdaneth. And as the brilliant flash of light fades, you look and see the decapitated statue with the head smashed on the ground. As you admire this scene for another moment, you hear another sound behind you that you're unable to turn to see. That just is an echoing and the vision fades, and you return to sleep.
Is this during Erixus's watch, by any chance?
Probably around that time.
I assume I don't see anything with my crappy perception roll.
He doesn't actually awaken. This is just purely a vision in his dreams. You may notice maybe a little bit of stirring from him, but he doesn't. There's no physical reaction on his part. All right. The next morning, you all waken fully rested.
Long rested.
Long rested? Nice.
Long
So at this
rested.
point, we'll kick into his speech, or his retelling of the story, acting like none of you were there, about how Rosera bravely stood up and shot arrow after arrow at these gray slod, who just repeatedly pounded on Wilrose And Norixus emphasizes how badly Willrose got pounded on, over and over and over again. But does manage to paint Rosera as the hero of the story. And so yeah, if that's satisfactory, Gabe, everyone will get 13 temporary hit points.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know I'm going to Rexus. I go, do you hear voices in your head all the time?
Oh, I don't even know where to begin.
Last night, I heard a voice in my head. It was weird.
That's just Tuesday for me. What did it say?
It said, be careful who I steal from.
What, did you steal something lately?
Just a slot and a statue of a god.
Were you careful about it?
I put the statue in the bag eventually, and I still have the slot.
Do you still have the statue?
It's not bag of holding.
So no, you weren't careful. There you go. It's just a warning. Relax. You'll either die or be fine.
It's all right. And then I go, are you the mind flayer? And then the punk didn't answer me. What a punk.
Well, how do you know it's a two-way communication?
I don't know.
You see, Zorkris, the mind is a funny thing. And now Erixa starts, in Zorkris' head, is the next few sentences. Sometimes it's a two-way communication. And sometimes it's not.
Actually, the way it worked is.
Listen, Erixus has dedicated, 2.5 decades of his life to receiving visions from otherworldly entities. Is it brain-splaining if I actually know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know when you ask somebody something and then you don't want to, you hear the answer and then you had enough? This is where I am right now. My eyes are rolling. I just said, what did I do? I just scuttle
anything.
I scuttle into Bobo's vision and I send Bobo in the air to fly around a little bit so I can't hear anything or see anything right now.
So, and when Zorkris pops back into his head, the last thing he would hear Erixus saying is, and that's why you'll never understand what's going on, and you should keep coming to me for these kinds of answers.
Get him and just roll my eyes and just walk away. Thank you. How'd everybody else sleep?
Everyone, Zorkris is as crazy as me.
Anybody else hear crazy voices or see anything weird?
A very specific question. Oh, anybody else have a vision of a glowing weapon?
All right. I'm going to send a message to Zalathorn.
Okay, what do you say?
That's where we're going now. So, yes.
Oh, he owes us.
All right. Hey, Zalathorn. We captured a Slod. We're bringing it to town. It's under my control.
Don't
Meet
kill
us by the gate.
Interesting. I look forward to your arrival.
Zalathorn just said I was a hero. Let's go, guys.
Can you hear voices?
Instead of a message. Hero back.
All right, you guys, finish preparing for the day. Erixus gives you his inspirational speech, and you guys set off. Won't need perception rolls for the return journey back. It's just a few hours as you leave from kind of the edge of the swamp. It's an uneventful few hours. There's not really any traffic on the road as you're coming out of the swamp, as nobody is daring to travel anywhere near the swamp at this point in time. And as you finally, make your way back in this general area and get back towards the crossroads and the edges of the city, you finally start to see a few people traveling back and forth along the road, but they are, for the most part, just commoners and nobody of any particular note. You do finally reach the gates of Halarahh after about 3 hours or so, 3 to 4 hours.
Tell Wilbur to hold back on like the edge of the gates so he's not really in line of sight. So this way, the guards don't get really terrified when they see him.
All right, you guys approach the gate, and the guards do hail you. Halt!
We're here to
State your
see
business.
Storm. He's looking to see us. We have something to show him. He said he'll meet us by the gate.
You see the guard that was kind of poking his head above the wall withdraw and return a moment later. Yes, you are expected. And the gates begin to open.
Tell him, don't be afraid. And then I call, Wilbur, come.
You see several of the guards on the edge of the wall immediately train their crossbows on
I says,
to Wilbur.
don't shoot.
Rick just goes, no!
Don't shoot. He's under my control. This is what I told Zalthorn.
They seem less aggressive and more prepared in that it's just a precaution in case anything should not go as promised.
Tell Rick says to get on his mount, so this way they're not as keen to shoot right away.
You have no idea what I've said to these people, do you?
But they continue to open the gate and allow you through. The entire way through, just weapons trained on Wilbur and at the ready for anything to possibly go wrong. As soon as you're inside, they begin closing the gates immediately, and the guard that had hailed you comes down off the wall. Yes, I'm sorry, but at Zalathorn's request, we will be escorting you to the council.
Fine by us.
Rick just gets off of Wilbur and like puts his arm out like he's going to be escorted by a man to a ball.
He kind of brushes you aside and waves his hand at a few guards that are standing at the ready. They don't really, move in close, but 8 guards, all with heavy crossbows, begin, forming a line behind you, and they seem to be waiting for you to begin marching into the city.
Go to Wilrose. This looks like a parade. You should play a song.
Yeah. Let's do it.
All right, you guys make your way into the city, and the council is a bit of a distance from this gate, so it takes a while, and you definitely draw a lot of glances and not really a following of people, but everyone that you do pass is just kind of in awe of the fact that you've managed to capture one of these things and that it seems to somehow be docile. But you do make your way into the city and eventually to the council chambers. And you are walking in with Wilbur.
Yep.
All right. The guards do not follow you in, but do kind of, pause at the door and kind of take a stance on either side of the door. Still seemingly in preparation for something to potentially happen, but not pursuing you any further into the council chambers. You guys make your way in easily enough, and you are greeted by Tarth, who also seems to be expecting you. And he guides you into the inner chambers a bit uneasily in the shadow of Wilbur towering over everybody. But he does bring you in eventually to Zalathorm's office. Greetings. It seems that you must have quite a tale for me.
And we just, do our normal thing. Do some missions, kill some things, control some slots, the usual.
And how is it that you have managed to gain control of one of these?
Well, I found this bag of crystals and I just pick it up and wave. And I think one of them controls the slot. I don't know which one, because we killed lots of slots and they were all under control.
I would very much like to see those crystals, and he holds out his hand.
Open the bag and randomly pick one crystal and put it in his hand.
This council's so touchy-feely.
I know. Hope that's not the one that controls Wilbur. Lucky roll.
He plucks the crystal from your hand, and it's as you saw them in the bag, it's about 2 or 3 inches long, somewhat slender, and not really uniformly shaped. Like it's a bit faceted, and it's see-through. See-through red crystal. But
I'll tell Wilbur to come over to the desk, and I'll move up to right here. Go, come over to here and turn around.
He steps up and turns around.
Then I point to the back of his neck and go, I think they plant something in these things, and that's how the crystal controls them. And I show him the scar in the back of his neck.
He takes his attention off the crystal for a moment and kind of narrows his eyes as he stares at it. Yes. Perhaps. More research, I think, will be needed to determine what sort of magic this is that seems to be controlling these things. Speaking of that, who was controlling these things? Where did you get these crystals?
I saw another mind flayer, and then I show him the statue of the totem of the mind flayer god.
Right, yeah, let's do one more. Hold on. Let's set a time.
There was a mind flayer as well?
Oh, God. He ran away the moment he saw us coming.
How did you acquire these crystals from the mind flayer?
No. Zorkers, tell the story right.
There were these gray slots that pretty magical and had a lot of power, and we dispatched them. One of them had this bag on them.
Ah, yes, we have encountered a few of that variety that seem quite capable and deadly in the encounters that we have come across.
Too bad Rosaire killed them all by herself. She's tough.
It's just coughs.
Impressive indeed, then. So it was these gray ones that possessed these crystals, and they were controlling the others. Well, as I said, I would be very much interested in determining further how they have accomplished this and what sort of magic they might be employing with these. Would I be all right if I hang on to your friend here as well as these crystals for a time?
Will I get him back?
Potentially.
Or
I'm
maybe.
very curious to see how we might re-engineer these and use them to our advantage, or possibly gain control over a greater number of these creatures.
So I'm going to ask, can I have that one crystal that does not control him? And I'll trade you this, but we want him back.
But hold on. Never mind. Do your thing.
He offers the crystal back.
Give him the bag.
I don't make any guarantees. These creatures are incredibly dangerous and not of this plane. They are not supposed to be here. But I will see what can be done.
Hand over the bag. Take the other crystal. Put it in the bag and hold it.
As you pass the bag over, Wilbur takes his gaze off from you and shifts it to Zalathorn.
Be gentle with him. He's my friend.
Alexis would, at this point, pipe up and say to Zalathorn, if you're in a generous mood, I can't move my character because Roll20 is refreshing itself for me right now. But I would slide up, close enough to Zalathorn, maybe to make him uncomfortable. Yeah, there we go. I got back. Not quite put my arm around him, but, lean in close and be like, I could really use a vial. I've angered. Well, angered is the wrong word, but I owe something to something, and too long to explain, but I need a vial. Where can I get a vial? Platinum inlaid, intricate. Willing to pay.
Perfect.
He thinks for a moment. Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Advantage. Hey. Hey.
Holy cow.
Take that.
There is a lesser known shop that could possibly direct you to. It is typically more reserved for those of the council to ensure that its resources are freed up and available at a moment's notice should something important come up. What you're seeking is a somewhat specialized item that I think you would probably have difficulty finding elsewhere. But in light of your service here and in what you have done in pursuing these slod, I think it's worth offering you some of their services. I will send a message ahead, and you should make your way to the Chimera. Explains where it is in the city. That is an unmarked shop. There's no signage on the front or anything, but he explains to you how to get there. And
what's the name of the place?
The Chimera.
Is he finished speaking at this point?
When he explains where it is, does that sound familiar to any of us? Like, knowing another shop that was over there?
It's a bit out of the usual like market district where most of the other shops are, and I would say that even Zorkris has not heard of this shop before.
So as he finishes, Erixus kind of like gives him like a little friendly elbow. It's like, oh, good, because you have no idea the entity that I've unleashed upon. No, that's not important. Thanks a million.
I think we may be more aware of the things you all unleash than you think.
Oh, you have no idea. But good luck.
But good luck.
Just whistling and walking out. And then Erixus pulls a Columbo. He's like, but there's just one more thing.
Yes.
Actually, I don't need anything. I don't need any colors anymore. Never mind. Good day.
Okay. All right. If there is nothing else, you guys make your way back out to the city.
Erixus is like a child who found out there's a new toy store in town. He's like, we have to go. Let's go. Let's go.
We have to go to What Doesn't Kill You as well.
Yes. Later. Come on, Zorkris, this is a new magic store. You, of all people, don't want to go.
I don't really buy anything.
You, of all people, don't want to steal.
I don't steal anything. Wherever anybody wants to go, will go.
Erixus is going there. He's not waiting. He is on his way.
I'll follow you. I'll bite.
Follow.
He's basically skipping at this point.
All right. The directions are easy enough to follow. You make your way through the city, and it's mostly houses in this area. Very nice houses, definitely higher end than some areas of the city. But yeah, nestled between a row of houses, you do find a small shop front that's pretty unassuming. And again, as he described, it doesn't have any sort of signage or anything on the front. But as you walk in, you are greeted by an older human man with long gray hair, just like shoulder length, and a simple, well-fitted blue tunic. He greets you and says, can I help you?
That's Zalathorn sent word.
Ah, he did indeed.
That crazy with Z.
A platinum vial, I believe he said he required?
Well, you're partially right. I need a vial inlaid with platinum.
Ah, that's a little easier.
Wait, let me just make sure I'm wording that right. You know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what you're looking for.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yes, I need a platinum inlaid vial.
Well, that is certainly within our skill set. Though we don't have any on hand, I believe it will likely take a day to make.
Rick just turns around to whoever's with him with these big sad eyes. It's like, it's just a day. It's just a day, fellas. We can wait.
What does he have? What is your name, gentlemen?
Crap, that's the one thing I didn't look up. 1 second.
Checkmate.
He has a name.
Pete.
The name is Grayson.
Grace. With an E or an A?
With an A.
Oh. What other wares or things you have that are really amazing?
Well, is there something in particular you're looking for? We have a variety of certain magic items, though they are typically reserved for the council's procurement. But perhaps I can find something to part with.
These items. I'm always curious to get some new magical wares.
Well, we certainly have a variety of such things. Are you looking for components, for new spells?
Yes. I'm even looking for armor or other things. Whatever. You're in a shop.
Well, most components we can procure or manufacture. Otherwise, let me look and see what I have available for scrolls. He goes and returns a moment later. Just let me put these in chat real quick because I know you're going to want it. So he lists off a few spells there. All of these scrolls we currently have available. While you're looking those over, and he turns back to Erixus, I believe we can likely procure this vial for 600 gold.
Serious. I've never heard of something so. Did you say 600?
600 gold, yes.
Oh, well, that's entirely reasonable. I'll give you 400.
Make a persuasion check.
Searching. Boom.
$500 as a favor for Zalathorn.
Erixus takes that 600 gold and puts it on the counter.
Okay. Is there...
Count that, will you? Oh god, it's 600. Never mind. I take 100 gold back.
It seems a touch confused, but takes the 500 as agreed upon.
Now I can trust you. I don't have to do this half now, half and deliver it, do I?
Certainly not. We are reputable.
what's the deal with warlocks and spell scrolls? I can cast them as long as they're on my list, right?
Yes.
How much is this? Is the summon shadow spawn? And here's a better question: because I can only cast spells at 4th level, will I cast it as a 4th level spell, or do I cast it as a 3rd? I don't even know if it scales. I'm just asking.
It does. It scales.
I would have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that only applies to your warlock spell slots, not to. I'm pretty sure a scroll is a scroll.
Got it. And do I need the material components if I have a spell scroll?
No, you don't.
I would like to buy this scroll of Shadow Spawn.
That would be another 500 gold.
This is absolutely. Wait, did you say 500? Oh, well, if I'm buying both, why not give me both for, say, I don't know, 800?
Make another persuasion check.
You got it, dude. You gotta be kidding me. Like rules. I'm drinking Imperial ales tonight, by the way, gentlemen and lady.
Ooh. I suppose with multiple items purchased, another small discount, 900 for both.
I'm poking Zorgus. You buy something.
You have any heavy armor?
What'd you say?
You cut out a little.
So, do you have any heavy armor?
Armor is not really our specialty. We do better at the smiths.
Right. How much for the life transference?
That is 450 gold.
Give Erixus 400 gold. Work your magic.
One sec, sorry.
Or perhaps 1,300 for all 3 items.
I gotta go AFK for 1 second. I'll negotiate briefly.
Okay.
I gave him 400, so whatever he does after that. I gave it to Erixus.
Yeah, I mean, it's essentially agreeing to chop the other 50 off.
Yeah.
Actually, did he actually agree to the 900 for the other 2?
I did not agree. I didn't agree.
Okay.
No, what I said was, when he said 900, I said, Zorkers, buy something else.
Okay.
So, with the hope being, now that we're buying 3 things, we'll get a deeper discount. So, full price, it would have been 600 plus 500 plus 450. So, 1550. I'm working through this, but I'm actually negotiating as Erixus. 1550 is absurd. For this, please. You have 2 of the objects on hand, and one of them you admitted would be easy. I think you should give them all to us for 1,300.
He pauses for a moment. Agreed.
Damn it, I should have said 11.
Yo, Erixus, he said 1,300 to start with, man.
Wait, did he? Did I miss that? I was like,
Yeah.
oh.
I thought you were still here for that.
No, I didn't hear that. So instead of saying 1,300, I would have said 1,200.
He seems a touch annoyed. Make a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Zorkers, how are you not giving me guidance yet?
I can't do it that speed.
Can you do it now?
I mean, you can do it knowing that he's about to negotiate. It's not like a...
I flick you with the tail on this one. Guidance.
I think the 1,300 discount is more than fair. We are already going out of our way at Zalathorm's request.
It's very insulting of you, Zorkris, to even request such a steep discount. I'm embarrassed.
I ask for the scroll and I walk away.
Well, so hold on. There's 1,300 is what? If Zorkris is not going to pay more than 450.
Zorkris gave you 400.
I gave you 400 gold already.
Well, there you go. That counts, right?
Yeah.
So what do I end up paying? 900?
You pay 900, yeah.
421.86.
I'm gonna put the scroll in the bag thing.
All right. Yeah, he hands over the 2 scrolls and promises to provide the vial within the next day or so.
Richard will say, like, can you guarantee it'll be ready by tomorrow morning?
We will do our best by middle of the day for certain.
Deal.
Erixa shoots him the finger guns. And says, and thanks him.
All right. He bids you all on your way.
What a pleasant chap. I do like this store quite a bit.
All right. You guys are heading to what doesn't kill you now?
Yep.
All right. You guys make your way there, and shop is open per usual, and you're greeted by Hasham. His name's escaping me. Kazam?
Kasham.
Kasham. There we go. Knew there was a Sham in there. You're greeted by Kasham. Welcome back. Have you acquired that poison?
I say the goo of a frog, indeed.
Well, let's see it then. Or is it an actual frog still?
No, we have the goo itself from live frogs. And no frog harmed in any of the matter.
You have the one with the dead frog too? Jin scraped it off with his glaive, I think.
Yeah, you did get some. It wasn't a full vial, though. I'm pretty sure.
I think we'll hold on to that and see what... How many vials do we have?
You're given 3 by the Grung.
Let's give him 1 and see what he says.
He takes the vial and... Is this all you were able to procure?
Well, how much did you need?
Supply is scarce, and frankly, I'd like to not have to make too many trips out there myself. So the more, the better. I was certainly hoping for more than 1 vial.
Well, sure. Let us see. I think they may have given us another. They huddle up with the group and they like looking through the bag, but kind of trying to figure out, should we give him more? I don't think we have any need for it. Probably. I'm not actually looking, not fishing through the bag, but just pretending to look for stuff.
Well, do you have more or not?
Does anybody have an opinion whether or not we give him all of them?
Well, for it, we still have the half.
Still have the what?
Still have the half vial.
Yeah, and we could always probably get more, I guess.
gonna give us.
Oh yeah, actually, it looks like we do have 2 more here.
Two more. Well, that's a different story. Excellent. Alrighty then. We never quite fully discussed payment, but perhaps we could make a trade. He reaches below the counter and pulls up a flask with a semi-translucent blue and silvery liquid swirling around inside, and he gives it a couple swirls, and it like shimmers pretty brilliantly. Perhaps
Another
you would
mystery potion?
be interested in this. I have managed to concoct a little something from our previous transaction.
Do you know what it does?
Well, I believe it will do something similar to what the raw stuff does when you disappeared.
Indeed. Well, what's the offer here?
One of these for 3 of those.
That hardly seems like a fair deal.
Well,
Considering he wouldn't even have one of these if it wasn't for us.
Well, these are a bit harder to come by, and certainly far more useful than a simple poison.
We had a lot more of the other stuff, right? I think. I don't remember what we ended up doing with it.
Yeah, you had more of the raw venom left, I believe.
Yeah, the phase spider venom.
Yeah, Rain had gotten a ton of it, and I believe it was like 4 or 5 vials worth, I said. And I think you only sold 1 to Kasham.
Okay.
I have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure you guys still have like 4.
Nice. Well, what does this do? Is it just going to, make me invisible or whatever, or is there a Kasham twist?
No twist.
I gotta be AFK.
Okay. No twist. I'll admit I tested some out myself, and you do indeed vanish and appear after a short period of time again.
How long?
A few seconds.
Few seconds. Is this like a standard potion that if I were to, do the taste like usual, I'd get an idea, I'd know what the full effects would be if I drank the whole vial?
Yeah, probably.
Mind if I take a small sample?
Be my guest.
Like a little, dab or whatever.
Filter of phase shifting.
At the start of the creature's next turn, it returns to the material plane. Okay. Very cool. Well, I mean, I think, I think we have a deal, but what else might you have to offer? Any potions? We are running quite low on healing potions.
Yes, I have been able to keep a few to the side for my best customers. You know, with all the war efforts, most of them are procured by the council and the soldiers, but not all of them need be accounted for. I can offer you. I can offer you 2 regular potions and 2 greater healing potions.
At what cost?
We'll say our old agreed to discounted rate for the little ones, and 250 gold for the bigger ones.
Each or together?
Each.
Each. And what is it? 150 for the 2 small ones? I think it's 75 each or something like that.
No, 75 would be more like a full market price. I think you were getting them
50.
for 25? 25 or 50? We'll say 25. I think
What
it was
do they
25.
normally go for? What's the PHP? Oh yeah. I think it was, I don't remember if it was 100 or 50, I don't remember.
I believe it's 75 in PHP. I think you were getting them for 25.
Yeah.
The main discount.
Yep. I'm good. I would take, if no one wants it, I will get a greater potion of healing just in case anyone needed. I can use it on them.
I mean, I would definitely be trying to barter here, or be trying to, what do you call it?
Bargain.
Bargain, yeah.
I would
I
defer
would say,
to
something along the lines of, we got you 3 vials of the frog, which is a trade for 1 of these phase shifting. While it seems like a good deal, maybe we could work a little on the potions. What do we say? All 4 potions for 400 gold?
For my best customers. Absolutely.
All right. Deal. And I'll slap 400 gold on the table.
All right, he takes it and slides the potions and the. I guess you already have the filter, but.
Yep. We'll sort out the potion dispensing in a bit.
And enjoy that. I'm working on brewing up a couple more. If that works to your satisfaction, there will be more available.
Oh, okay. And you still have more supply of the venom?
I have a bit more. It doesn't take much, I've found.
All right. Well, just in case we come across another one of these crazy spiders, maybe we will see to extract some, and we can work another deal. But definitely keep us in mind with those healing potions, or if you have a way for us to make them ourselves or something, we are definitely in need. Not sure if you heard of the Slod invasion happening these days.
Yes, I am. I'm quite aware of the challenges. I will see what I can keep aside for my next shipment.
All right, fantastic. Cool. I mean, I have no more healing potions, I don't think. Yeah, I have 0 potions of healing at all. And seeming that I am the one that is getting beaten all the time nowadays.
You can take them.
Yep.
I mean, I don't want all of them, that's for sure. I was definitely be interested in one of the greater healing potions. But the others I will offer up to the group, and there's This one's on me. And I think Shin is probably running low and as well.
I'll take one. I'm not gonna use it for myself, but just in case it's my turn, I can kind of help dish it out. So that's the whole point of why I wanted.
Yep.
One. All right. I'll take a regular one.
Okay.
Yeah, I haven't been tracking people's potions, so distribute them
right
as
now.
you see fit.
Got it. All right. So Rose, I will take one, just in case if I have to use it on anybody else.
All right.
Arixis would ask for one of the potions only because I want to shove it down Will Rose's throat again.
All right. So there's one more greater healing then.
Actually, you owe me a greater healing. Just saying.
Well, I'm saying there's a regular
There
and a
is
greater.
one.
You mentioned regular. I thought you said.
No, I'll take the regular. It's fine.
Okay.
But you still own the greater.
But you still owe me, yes. I'll take the regular, but you still owe me a greater.
Sarah, you gonna buy any potions? I keep giving you all mine.
I have several from you that I have not used, so I would say that.
Actually, no, wrong. You drank one last week.
Which one did I drink?
Oh no, you didn't. Never mind.
No, we took that back.
Yeah, we retconned all that.
Yeah. Never mind.
Okay.
I forgot you had a power that you had, so it turns out you didn't take any damage, whereas I thought you took a lot.
I think that I still. Hold on, I can check. I don't want to guess. Rosera.
You should have two.
Yeah, I believe I have two, and then one of them's greater. So.
Now that she's sniping, she doesn't get hit as much.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have none, Lebo?
I always give mine away. I've never kept a healing potion.
Okay.
I have a supreme healing as well, so I don't think
snap.
that I don't think I need one.
Supreme?
Supreme.
I gave
Jeez.
that to her too.
My gosh, it's like the birthday gift that keeps giving.
Alright. Well, I'll hold on to the other greater, and we could decide later.
Yeah, at this level, Supreme is like full health for most of you.
Yeah, that's insane. So what's the
Rare find.
What's next? Shall we check in on Baru?
Yeah.
What was I was a little preoccupied. What was the discussion with Zalthorn?
They're gonna run tests on Wilbur.
Okay. Do we
I have
have
to-
a quest?
No.
No, I have to wait. I have to wait till
We're just
tomorrow
shopping.
midday. Yeah, midday tomorrow is when I get my vial. I'm not leaving town. And Arixis was planting a flag in the ground that he's not leaving town until then.
Okay. And what time of the day is it? We rested outside the town.
I think
It's
early morning.
It's more. It was
Brunch?
more late morning when you arrived back in town. I'd say at this point, you've probably spent like at least an hour or so wandering around town, meeting with Zalthorm and all that stuff. So it's early afternoon or so.
Well, I mean, if we're planning on chilling till tomorrow, why don't we go check on Raleigh, and then we
Yeah,
can go
we should
end
also-
the day with Baru.
We should get the statue examined by someone who might know more about Il-Sensine, right? We determined that the statue is Il-Sensine.
We could go look
Yeah.
at we could go to Raleigh. She knows this stuff a little bit.
Can we get to the archives in one day, or no? Can we get to the archives and back?
It's about a full day's journey just to get there.
Okay. We might
Real
wanna
quick
take that to
though,
the archives.
just real quick though, did anybody else need to purchase anything? I know with the level up and stuff, I don't know if anybody else needed any other spell components or.
Zorka's wanted armor.
Like real heavy armor, like plate armor or something.
What did you
There's a-
have?
there's
I
a
thought you
sticky.
had plate.
I bought plate. I bought plate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have
Oh, you have
Rix is
scale. now.
half plate.
where's that scale?
No, you
Well,
gotta have
excellent.
better than scale.
I got a scale. But I don't have that.
So how do you have higher AC than me with scale mail and no shield?
I have shield.
He has a shield.
What's your AC?
18.
Oh, never mind. Mine's higher.
Mine's so
All
bad.
right. Yeah. You have already been to a couple of the smiths around the city, so it's easy enough to. I mean, you know your way around, being native here, so it's easy enough to find one of the smiths that you're familiar with and has a good reputation. What are you looking to purchase?
I want some heavy armor, something that really beef up my my defense.
Sorry, I'm being like a rules asshole here. You have scale mail, your AC is 18 with a shield.
I have a shield +1.
It should still only be 17.
This is what it calculates it as.
Yeah, I thought that seemed high for scale mail too. I'm looking real quick.
Is it +1 scale mail?
It's 14. No, that's right. It's 14 plus dex. He's got 1 dex, so that's 15, and then he's got a shield, which is 2 plus 1, which is 18.
Oh, what I'm looking at doesn't have scale mail with dex, so I thought scale mail didn't have dex.
Yeah, it's plus dex, but a max of 2, as opposed to light armors, which don't have a dex cap.
Well, there you go.
But his dex is only 1, so cap doesn't matter. But yeah, he's got 18 AC.
Yeah, I'm looking
All
for
right.
something a little beefier.
Yeah, you can pretty easily find anything but plate pretty much readily available. Plate, you might have to search a bit, or they'd have to make something for you. So for heavy armor, ring mail, chain mail, or a splint at PHB prices would be available and
What's your
most of the
strength?
armors.
My strength is 10.
You can't wear heavy armor.
Oh yeah, that's
You wear ring mail, and it's less than scale mail.
Well, I have proficiency in heavy armor, so that matters.
Doesn't matter.
Heavy armor requires a strength requirement: 13 for chain, 15 for plate and splint.
Yo, get half plate. You'll end up with
Yeah,
15,
just get half plate. Yeah, you'll be good.
15
half
plus
plate
dex
would be
plus your
available.
shield. You'll have the
That'd
same
be,
AC as me.
Yeah, it'd be a +1 upgrade, so you'd go up to 19.
So I'll buy some.
750.
All right, it's 750 gold, and
I'll go. Thank
you-
you.
Are you looking to sell your scale mill?
Yeah.
Okay, they'd offer you like 25 gold for it in a used condition.
Altogether.
So yeah, 725 at just market price.
All right, so I'll hand over the money. Cool.
All right, go ahead and add some half plate. You do still have disadvantage on stealth checks with half plate.
Yeah, that's fine.
Don't worry about it. Rain takes care of that.
Yeah.
Pick that up in the
Okay,
morning.
let's
This was
go ahead and take a real quick break before we head over to Rowney.
All right, Budweiser in a can it is.
All right, guys, just gonna
Can't
take a real
take any
fast
more
break
than
here,
3 real ales.
use the bathroom, get some drinks and stuff like that, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to continue. All right, so you guys were headed to the mayor's office to see Rowney then?
Yeah.
Yep.
And then it's supposed to see the plant.
I mean, I want to antagonize her and destroy the plant.
All right, you guys make your way there. The office is open, and stepping inside, you do indeed see Rowney at her usual station. Let's check the map. All right, she sees you walk in and looks up from her desk. Hello. What can I do for you?
Got in the bag of holding, and I show her the statue we found. Do you know anything about this?
She takes it and seems to have a bit of a look of recognition in her eye and just kind of immediately hands it back. No, I'm afraid that I do not, but I would
We'll do a
recommend...
insight check.
Alright, roll insight.
That's a guy.
She seems as though she's being a bit dismissive of it, and you gather that there might be something more, some deeper hint of recognition. Like, you're not sure if maybe she's seen this exact one before, or if she's just more familiar with this Ilson scene than she's letting on, but she seems like she's being intentionally dismissive. I would recommend speaking with Kabaf. He has made it a special interest of his to look into these sightings of the symbols of this god, as well as the mind flayers themselves that have been invading our borders for these past few years, ever since his incident that you're well acquainted with.
So you sure Kabaf's okay? Last time we saw him, he had no brain.
He is as well as ever.
Well, how many of these have you seen before? Yeah. Is this what those cults follow?
Apparently, I haven't really had any direct interaction with these cultists myself.
Do you know where Kabaf is these days? Is he still in his little town, in his tower?
No, I'm afraid not. The Safari has been long since destroyed by the Slod. He has a residence here now in the city.
Would you be able to tell him that we'll come to visit him?
I don't have the capability to notify him in advance. I could arrange to send a messenger.
What time of day is it, Gabe?
Early mid-afternoon.
Alright, if you tell us his address, and maybe we'll just surprise him. He's friends with us.
Yes, that I can direct you to him. She explains how to get there. Your familiarity with the city, you know what area she's talking about. Will there be anything else I can help you with?
Are any, like, jobs or tasks popping up around town?
I'm afraid I don't have anything in particular at the moment. I'm generally quite busy lately with other matters, and I haven't made much time for managing some of the more menial errands. If you have no further business with Zalathorn, then I'm afraid I don't really have any direction for you. Speaking of such things, what did happen with the Slod he sent you to investigate?
Well, we found a temple. There was a lot of them. We killed them. I said, walk away. Have a good day.
Rosera
Well,
pulls the
that's-
thing, a leaf off the plant.
Do we tell her about the one?
She's lying to us now.
Why should we give her any information? She's lying to us.
She don't like us anymore.
She never did.
Good.
That's true. This is true.
All right, you guys are just headed straight to Kaboff then?
Yeah, but come off. I won't even send a message.
Okay, what do you say?
I said I'm
Won't
not
send a
gonna-
message.
Oh, you're not. I thought you said I'll even send a message.
Showing up uninvited, unannounced.
As usual, the Kaboff. That's how we go.
That's how we arrive to a party's completely unwanted.
All right, you find the house easy enough. It's actually over in the district near the Chimera, where you were earlier in the day. Not immediately adjacent to the storefront, but in the general area. How are you approaching the house? Are you just headed straight to the front door and knocking, or?
Yeah.
We just walk right in, check the door. I can fix that.
All right. Yeah.
There are no locked doors for us.
Are you knocking, or are you seriously attempting to break in?
Can we see if it's just open?
All right. You walk up to the door and jiggle the handle a bit, and it is unlocked.
Oh, it's unlocked. I think we should just walk right in.
We're like Kramer.
This is the only person's house we broke into like 5 times.
I mean, you don't have to follow me. Someone else can come up and knock if you think I'm being rude.
Go for it.
All right.
Okay.
You watch Rosera walk up, turn the handle, door opens freely and swings in silently. As you enter, you're greeted by a very richly furnished and somewhat cluttered home. It definitely, like, a large portion of the home seems like it's some sort of a workspace as much as a living space. There's notes scattered in various places, and tables are covered with old glasses and plates, and it's definitely not well kept for what you would expect for an abode that looks so nice on the inside, with rich dark woods and But as you walk in and kind of step into the main room, you spot Kaboff with his back turned to you, facing an open space, and it seems like he's speaking with somebody.
But there's nobody there?
You don't see anybody.
Can I hear what he's saying?
Make a perception check. You catch just the tail end of it, and it seems almost as though, I'd say with that perception roll, you would get the impression from his kind of shorthanded speak that it seems like he's replying to a message or sending a message, potentially. He's not speaking in full long sentences, but rather in some broken words. And as you draw in just enough, you catch just the last few words, and you hear him say, "Be ready. We may need to strike anytime."
Am I the only one that heard that?
Yeah, I'd say with you, leading the way in, you would have only just barely caught the end of it as he trailed off.
Can I relay it to anyone near me without him hearing?
Well,
hear
as you-
just knocking on your brain.
Okay, I would communicate to Erixus via my brain.
All right. This is communicated. But as you
Sending it
do
out.
step in and reach that audible range, he immediately cuts off what he's saying, or finishes what he was sending, and turns around to face you, kind of at the ready in an alarmed, somewhat battle stance. But then he has a moment of recognition and relaxes a bit, though it still seems a bit tense at the fact that you are intruding into his house without warning.
Hey,
What?
surprise!
Yes, quite a surprise.
This isn't where I parked my
Why?
car.
Why are you here? And why have you entered my house?
The door was open.
And that normally serves as an invitation for you?
I am a rogue. Can't help my nature.
Well,
Oh, I'm just staring back. I'm not going to say anything else.
now that you're here, why are you here?
I've
Very
listened to
s-
my colleagues too, who are more.
When's the
eloquent
last
than
time
I.
we saw him?
Yeah.
Erixus is whistling. No one has any idea what this tune is, but Erixus is whistling. If I only had a brain.
You saw him, you would have seen him 2 days ago before you left Halarahh.
It's only 2 days.
Bear in mind, aside from the fact that it's been like 3 months, it's in IRL time. It's only been 3 days
Wow.
since you came back through the portal.
Wow.
And he was there to greet you there.
So this dude got his brain sucked out 9 years ago, but we've only been back for 3 days.
Yeah, I think it's 3. It might be 4.
We are busy beavers.
Well, we thought we'd check in. It's only been a few days since we've seen you.
I wasn't aware that I needed checking in on.
And that's precisely why we decided to check on you.
I can't help but feel that there may be other motives behind your visit. Is there anything else I can help you with besides proving my existence?
Do you know anything about this statue? I show him.
He walks over and takes hold of it. I have seen a couple like this previously. Obviously, this bears the visage of Ilsen Seen, which I believe you're all at least somewhat familiar with. More than that, I have not discovered much about any of these statuettes in particular. I believe that the one or two that I've encountered that were strikingly similar to this, I would say they are merely more than idols, some sort of focus of worship for these creatures.
Focus of worship can be a very powerful thing.
At times, but these don't seem as though they are objects which are wielded in any way. They are kept as decoration, nothing else.
When you were dealing with the Mind Flayer, when he controlled you, did he communicate with your mind?
Communication would be a gentle way of putting it. He had total and absolute control. As I believe I have explained previously, I still retain virtually no memories of that time.
How convenient.
Do you know
Convenient
where
or
these
not.
mind flares are kind of located or where they're coming from?
I'm not sure. Our attempts to research into the subject over the years have proven rather unfruitful. They are a very secluded society that rarely venture from their own halls deep under the earth. The fact that so many of them have surfaced in such a relatively short period of time, compared to the hundreds of years that these things live, is astounding and unnerving. We are still unclear on their motivations, on their numbers, and ultimately on their residences in the area, or where they are coming from, or whether it be from the Underdark, or they are somehow native to this region. We do not know. But speaking of which, how did you come across this statue?
We kind of found a temple full of slots, and it was just sitting there.
A temple full of slots. And you obviously lived to tell the tale.
Of course.
Mhm.
What has happened with these slots?
What do you care?
Well,
They pose a
we're
great
going
threat.
back to your buddy Zalathorn, where he could tell you all the good stuff we've done.
You brought the slots here.
Just one.
Intriguing. I will be sure to consult with him on that. But I don't believe that fully answers my question. This is a statue from a mind flayer. The Slod do not worship such deities. Where did you get this statue? Why was there a statue there of Ilsensin?
Well, we saw a mind player talking to somebody, and he saw us and poofed.
So there was also a mind flayer there.
Of course. Were you
Who-
with him? Was that you?
Of course not. You do not know who he was speaking with? What did this other person look like? Was it a person? Was it another mind flayer?
For someone who is surely afraid of these things, you're so interested.
Can
We should
can
all
Zerfers
be
transform
afraid.
into that person?
I never saw him.
Oh, you never
In the
saw him.
back. Who was in the front when we went in the room?
Shin.
Man, do you remember what that guy looked like?
I think I was in the front too, but I mean,
Yeah, I'm not
personally
sure.
don't remember, but would I remember?
Yeah, I'm not sure who it was, but nobody would have gotten a look at him before they vanished. He had his back turned and had a hood pulled up. There were no real describing features apart from a black cloak that you saw from the back.
I would just say that then. Just somebody in a black cloak.
What color clothes does Kaboth wear?
He's wearing a kind of a light, darkish gray cloak. His typical garb. Well, I suppose that he pauses for a moment. You see him wave his hand, and the front door slams shut behind you all.
Clothes, yeah.
He takes a step forward towards the group of you and lowers his voice. Kind of looks over his shoulder as if he's paranoid that somebody might hear him. I do not believe that these mind flayers, wherever they may be, are working entirely unaided. I think that I was only the beginning of a plan to further infiltrate Halarahh and overtake us.
Arixis will knock on Rosera's head and say, "Should I tell him I heard him?"
Can you tell him without telling him?
What does that even mean?
Like, I don't know. Never mind. Yes, you might as well tell him.
What was the last thing Kabath said?
Be prepared. We may need to strike at any moment.
No, that I heard. But what did he say to us? He was like whispering something to us. I heard most of it. I just want to hear like the last sentence.
He said that. What's the last thing I said?
They're infiltrating.
He believes that he may have been the beginning of a bigger plot to infiltrate Halarahh and overtake it.
Arixis will then pipe up and say,
So then who is going to be striking soon?
He, and you say this out loud?
Out loud.
He cocks his head almost imperceptibly and
Arixis kind of like backs away, like hands up and goes, "But you must forgive me. You said that out loud as we walked in."
Yes, you may have been privy to that conversation.
Will you door
I will
open?
keep that. If you do not already know, then I'll keep that to myself for now.
Well, surely you hear how ridiculous this all sounds.
Of course. And how ridiculous would you have thought it 9 years ago, not having seen these things, if I had not been saved from them and was continuing to operate under their influence?
Pal, you're talking to someone whose entire existence is based on an interstellar entity.
We saved you, my friend.
What was that, Lebo?
Yeah, we are the ones who
Saved you.
Indeed, and for that I am forever grateful. Both for helping to restore me and ultimately for enlightening me on further precautions that are needed. You see him reach for his right ring finger as he begins fiddling with a ring. I can assure you, such things will never happen again. To me.
To you?
See that ring? I mean, like, that's asking Kim, but can I do like a perception to look at what he's looking at and playing with?
Yeah, make a perception check.
Does it look like Philarin's ring of mind shielding? Would be my question.
We had a ring from him a while ago, remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was what the check was for. But yes, the gem set in the band and the metal of the band. This looks like almost identical to the ring that Philarin found in the dungeon.
So Arixis says, "So let me get this straight. You want us to trust you because you're protecting the city of Halarahh,
from an unseen entity, but you wouldn't tell us who you were talking about attacking anything with? You're kidding, right?
I did not use the word attack. Again, I do not know that I can even trust all of you. So I am not going to reveal all of my cards at once, as it were.
But don't trust me, whatever you do.
I mean, we saved your life. We've done numerous missions for this town. We aren't those to be trusted.
And that is the only reason that I'm having the beginning of this conversation with you.
You're gonna ask us to do something for you, aren't you?
Wait, our
In a
friend-
manner of speaking.
our friend had that same ring. Interesting.
Well, I crafted this
common
one.
is
I can assure you he did not have this exact same ring.
Of course not. He's a coward.
Do any of you have such means of protection? You say your friend had one of these rings. Do you still possess this ring?
We don't even
How
know
can
where
we
he
trust you with that information? You won't tell us anything.
Because if you have such protections, then you can be more well trusted.
Well,
Otherwise,
we
there are no
each have one of those
guarantees.
rings.
Otherwise, there are no guarantees that you are not all thralls of some other mind flayer.
A thrall of something.
I don't think I appreciate the implication.
And I'm sure you would appreciate much less losing all control over your faculties.
Hey, tough guy, why don't you tell us where to find these rings?
Find the rings? They are somewhat rare magical items. I am sure with the right amount of coin you might find somebody who could craft one for you, but they are not freely flowing around at any old magic shop. They're quite rare.
Are you trying to say we should all have one before you trust us? Preposterous, ridiculous, completely asinine.
No, I am attempting to trust you. But that doesn't mean that I am going to provide all information forthwith.
Rix is just kind of looking around at people.
He says, all right, out with it. What do you want from us?
First and foremost, keep an open mind and an open ear of those around you.
You just told us to not have an open mind.
Trust no one. Maybe not even me. But especially not others in the leadership of the council. Not even Zalathorn. I have been working closely with him, and I do not believe he has been compromised, but with these things there is no telling.
It's a pet slob.
What'd you say?
I said now Zalthorn has a pet slob, so good thing we don't trust him.
But perhaps we could begin working together, and perhaps you could pursue a few leads that I haven't had the time for myself.
Why is it that every time we meet anyone, they want us to do something?
Nobody wants to get to know us ever.
They're killing you to buy us dinner first. God.
Well then, are you interested in providing a great service to this city?
Hmm.
I feel we've already done that 10
Or-
times over.
Yeah.
Indeed you have, but you are at least partially responsible for all of this mess.
Eric just raises his hand. It's like, yeah, shut up.
I mean, we were being honest, looking for these gems. We never lied about what we were doing. Who would have known it would have done something crazy? You guys
I
did.
knew.
You're referring to the orbs?
Yeah, that led to the portal opening.
Erixus is like, well, I didn't entirely have no idea what would happen. I just kind of really hoped it wouldn't.
Well then, assuming you are at least somewhat invested and interested, I believe a good starting point may be the lair of the Mind Flayer where you first found me. This is the only recorded location up till now, apart from this apparent temple that was housing one, where we have had any real indication of their dwellings. Otherwise, we have been completely unable to locate any sources from where they might be coming from. It seemed to appear one day and disappear as soon as they come. But perhaps there's some clue or other information left behind that was overlooked.
It's this rune that we keep seeing, but we can't ever read.
Runes?
Who? What?
We're in that cave where we keep going. There were runes there that we couldn't read.
You mean... I think there was some runes that Wilrose took a rubbing of from the altar that you found in the woods.
Wasn't there like those two caves that had those words on? I don't think I was able to comprehend them.
Like
There-
outside the cave?
There was the cave...
That was the cave that we went to with the orbs.
Right, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah,
Isn't
you're
it?
you're referring to this. I don't know what tokens are on this map, but ignore any tokens.
Yeah.
There wasn't there
Uh,
roots there, and then it went by the door.
No, you
those
identified these runes. You were able to use comprehend languages on those. They translated to, if I remember correctly, Lord Who Watches.
The inside, before we got to the puzzle, wasn't there runes there as well?
There were the tablets on stands that were written in common.
Where he wants us to come back to.
I don't think that there was anything in there. I'm just looking again. I don't believe there's anything in there untranslated. In the
It had been on Finn's glaive. I couldn't read his thing. I think it was something I couldn't read.
now Shin's glaive you could read. Those were the names of his family line on his mother's side, the previous owners of the glaive. The only thing I can think of that you couldn't read was the... Find it. this. There was this altar to Ilsensine, and this is where
That's where I
You-
scratched the etchings.
yeah, this is where you had discovered that they were like burning some books, and you had an encounter with that guy that was carrying a bag of books on him, and this is where you took the etchings from this. This is what you couldn't decipher. But I don't think there was anything else aside from this.
Power 2 that I want.
You still have that sketch in some photos?
Yeah, I believe he would.
You want to show that to him?
Any objections, Wilros?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Do you want to show him those?
Oh yeah,
etchings?
I would show him the etching. Sure.
All right. Yeah, he takes a look at it. Yes, we have come across some of this writing before. We have attempted to translate it, but so far to no avail. In some of our research, however, we came across mentions of some secretive language of sorts. That's a simple way of describing it, but some method of written communication that these creatures have been documented using. We believe that these may be a part of that language, but why we are unable to determine its meaning or decipher it through any sort of magical means is still baffling us. I assume you have no idea what these mean.
No.
It seems that we already have most of the same information, which is extremely little. So then, is there any interest in attempting to pursue these creatures?
Yeah, I'm game.
Yes, but there's one condition.
And that is?
You have to wait until tomorrow afternoon for us to leave.
I can't imagine one more day having much effect after nearly a decade of pursuing these creatures. Take whatever time you need for preparations. Just perhaps don't mention this particular task to anyone else for the time being. And report back to me when you have any information.
So Arixa says,
Aha! You're planning an ambush. Guards, arrest him!
and obviously nothing happened.
I assure you, if I was planning anything more nefarious, there is no place where you would be less safe than inside my home.
No, he's threatening us. Ridiculous.
I think he was inviting us to stay. Stay the night, not game.
I don't know if Will Rose would be down for that. Will Rose has a
Yay.
audience.
Yeah.
He does love an audience.
I have no interest in staying in Kebab's house.
I think you would gather he wasn't exactly inviting you to stay any longer.
To get that vibe.
Not that smart.
Well, if That would be all. Please show yourselves out the way you came in.
You should lock your door next time.
Through the open door.
We will.
I will be sure to do that.
To the rusty blade.
To the rusty blade.
All right, you guys make your way over to the blade. Baru greets you as usual, a little surprised, and he looks up from the bar that he's wiping down and says, welcome, friends. A little earlier arrival than usual.
Yeah, it's been a day.
Well, what can I do for
some
you?
Day drinking.
Excellent. He reaches behind the counter and starts pulling out mugs. What seems to be troubling you then?
Yeah, I mean, I would tell him about our encounters of the many slod that we faced. And just a general statement of everybody thinking they can tell us what to do. And how we don't listen to anybody but ourselves.
He nods along as he starts handing out beverages and interjecting the occasional comment here and there, listening to your story. But is there anything you guys are looking to accomplish, or just want to speed through a rest, or?
After complaining about everybody telling us to do something for them, I asked if there's anything he needs for us to do for him.
Oh, me? I don't really get out much. Mostly just tending to the bar here.
Well, that's why you're my pal. Always giving, never asking for anything in return. Other than, a couple of gold pieces here and there, but that's expected.
You give plenty as the star entertainer for the blade.
Yes, indeed. Always happy to share my musical gift with the world.
Will there be a performance tonight then?
Well, but of course there would.
Fantastic. I'll have a few of the bar hands spread the word. We'll try to get a full house tonight.
All right. But yeah, I think the only intention is just to kind of wind the day down, maybe, see if any strange characters make their way into the bar that we're not used to seeing, but other than that, speed through a performance and a rest, I guess.
Is there a fighting pit in Halarahh?
A fighting pit?
Yeah.
Asking for a friend.
Not that you're familiar with. Make a history check, Sorcris. You're not. You've heard rumors here and there over the years. You've never attempted to go to one. You're not really intimately familiar with how to find one. You gather that if you ever wanted to, you could maybe ask around and try to ask the right people and maybe get a little info. But it's definitely not something that's advertised, and it's something that's generally frowned upon. It'd be like an underground fight club if one does still exist. But you've also been gone for 9 years, so you're not entirely sure what the state of things would be if one does still exist or not.
I see Wilrose and Baru talking, and I go over and I go, "Hey, Baru, is there any place in town like a little under the radar that people who go and test their feats of strength and skill?
Looking for a little extra adventure, I see.
I got a friend
Well-
here who could really fight. See what he could do. Like,
I'm
I nod at Shin. Look at that clean cut guy over there. He could fight. I want to test him.
Oh, I bet. He certainly looks like a fighter. I'm not entirely familiar with such a place myself. But he kind of nods off into the corner at a patron that you hadn't noticed before. That's kind of sitting in the darkest corner of the tavern, very poorly lit, and just kind of nursing a mug and a small plate of food with a hood drawn over his face. He might be able to point you in a better direction.
Thank you, Baru.
He looks like someone we can trust.
I'll go walk over to the hooded gentleman and go, "Excuse me, sir. Could I join you for a second and talk with you?" And I'll put a piece of gold down on the table.
Seems like we speak the same language. Have a seat.
I hear you know of the best places for adventure and test of skills.
I may. You're interested yourself?
Nothing really to do for the night, and I got a couple of friends here that we think are pretty tough, and we want to see if we can handle ourselves compared to what Halarahh could offer.
He gives a quick look around the room, kind of sizing you and the rest of the party up. Yeah? Alright. I know of a place that might be able to find a little bit of action this evening. I'm having the strangest time recalling lately, though. Holds out his hand across the table.
Yeah, I'm gonna shake hands with them with another gold coin in it.
Oh, that's right. He goes through the process of explaining, where to get there, and you being familiar with Halarahh, it's definitely like the seedier part of town. There's you're relatively familiar with the area, but it's the area that you kind of avoid. But you're familiar enough with it, with your knowledge of Halarahh to pretty confidently find this place and follow the instructions he gives you.
How's the cash flow there? There's a lot of places to make coin. You
The
said
cash flow is what you make it.
like this, my friend. So thank you. I get up and I go to Shin. I go, Shin, you ready for an adventure tonight?
Always off for it. What do you have? As I sip another whatever bar pour me.
Said, well, there's nothing really going on tonight. Let's see what that glaive could do. I found a place where you could test your skill.
I look interested. It's like anything to figure this thing out, man. I am not just having, I think both this thing's haunting both in real life and in my dream.
Yeah, so what better way but let it cut off some heads again?
Wait, hold up. Are we talking about live heads?
It's I'm sure they'll have some clerics there to stitch up anything that happens. Usually they do.
All right, I'll take a look. Not now about just blindly killing, but yeah, sure, why not? I'll be interested.
I guess we could round up the troops, see if everybody goes, then we could come back and Will Rose could sing some songs.
That'd be great.
Tell everybody my little devious plan to get Shin to go in the underground arena.
Well, Rose is actually pretty interested in this as well.
Did someone say gambling?
Yes, lots of gambling.
Not into it.
I was planning on you fighting as well, Rosera.
Well, obviously.
Okay, if you're all making your way there, yeah, you all head out, and Zorkrus kind of leads you through town. It's a ways away, and it's definitely like right to the edges of the city. There's kind of one ward of the city, kind of noticeably separated. That's definitely like lower class housing and a little less well taken care of. And as you head into this region, he leads you through a few winding side streets and finally down an alley, and you find a small house that's unmarked on the outside and doesn't really seem to have any notable features apart from being somewhat dirty and in disrepair, and it matches the description that he was given. And he opens up the door, and you're greeted by a staircase just immediately descending about, you'd guess, like 2 to 3 flights down. It's not like going into a basement, it's like going underground. And as you descend down, the steps are creaky, and some of them are a little rotted and falling apart, and the air is very damp and moist the further you go down. Once you reach the bottom, you're greeted by another door, and entering through the door, it opens up into a very wide space. Comparatively to the outside, it is much better upkept than the surrounding region of the city here. And you'd guess that, it's not particularly high end. They don't have any fancy wood accents or anything. It's a bit cave-like still, because it seems like it's just been kind of manually carved out of the ground underneath all the houses up above. But it is, a functional space. It's very wide open about. The ceilings are ceilings of the ground cave structure are like 20 feet high, and the entire area under there you would guess is several hundred feet in either direction. It's a extremely wide open space. You spot a few people that are currently in the ring fighting, and off to one side a bar and a couple dozen tables set up for patrons of the establishment and people who are looking to eat and drink. and you are approached finally by somebody who spots you, coming in through the basement door and kind of taking it all in, kind of slightly aghast. What you found underneath here. That, I think, is where we'll have to leave it for this week, because I don't have anything prepared for that.
Had the map.
That would be bad.
That would have been
You had it.
badass.
Still pending. Who say he doesn't?
True. It's like, you don't even know.
Yeah, I do not have an underground fight club prepared, unfortunately.
Oh my god.
But seeing as we're at the end of our usual time anyways, that seems like a good spot to stop, and a good spot to pick up next week.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Who's gonna fight in the Fight Club besides Shin and Zara?
Rosera, man.
I'm probably gonna come into that.
We're gonna do a tag team, or maybe like a team of 5. You have like the starter.
Like a group fight?
Yeah, the one of those like round robins thing. Yeah.
Well, Rose wants to be like a support.
I
Like,
want to
just
be
do, like-
cheating in the rafters or just cast spells.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Cool.
All right.
Can't believe I guess we got talked into a Fight Club.
I know,
Yeah.
all right. Well, this will be one of the most anticipated upcoming quests.
Yeah, definitely be interesting.
Cool, man. That was fun. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Thanks, Gabe. See you guys
Yeah,
next
catch you
Monday,
later.
same time, same channel.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you guys.
There's
GG.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll be back next week with D&D Fight Club, apparently. So it should be a fun and interesting time. But yeah, be sure to tune in for that. I'll be back again next Monday night. And I will see you all later. Hope everyone has themselves a good evening.